Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. Spawn's Universe. Spawn's Universe has been announced by Todd McFarlane over at the Comics Pro event. And this is a one-shot comic book arriving in June of this year, written by Todd McFarlane with artwork by Jim Cheung. But what it's doing is it's trying to launch a Spawn-verse, if you will. If you've been reading Spawn, like I have, you'll notice that there have been a lot of new Spawn characters introduced, and there's even more to come. So Todd is trying to do what DC successfully did in the 30s. He's trying to do what Marvel successfully did in the 60s and build a shared universe. And he said 20 years from now, he wants 20 ongoing books, many books hitting over 300 issues, many characters, lots of spin-offs, lots of good quality content. So he's really given it his all. Now, this one-shot is going to lead into 3 new ongoing Spawn books, all spaced out 2 months apart. The first one of which is in August, and it's King Spawn. King Spawn, we don't know too many details about this yet, but it does definitely seem to reference King Conan as opposed to Conan the Barbarian. So there's a lot of ideas that maybe this is about like Spawn further down the road once he's become King Spawn, or maybe a different Spawn that's King Spawn. I don't know. But King Spawn is first. It's in August. Then the Gunslinger Spawn in October. We don't really have any creative teams attached to this, but Gunslinger Spawn has been one of the breakout characters of recent issues in particular, and even stuff back in the day. So very excited for that. And then in December, you get The Scorched. The Scorched is going to be a Spawn team book, and it promises that Gunslinger spawns in it, Medieval spawns in it, She spawns in it, and a whole bunch of other spawns. It's going to have this rotating cast of characters, and of course Todd wants to kind of blossom this out even further. Now, he has tried to do this type of stuff before, but I don't think with this level of ambition behind it. Now, there's been tie-ins, there's been spin-offs, Curse of Spawn, Spawn the Dark Ages, Medieval Spawn, Sam and Twitch, the Violator series, the Angela series. This is not the first new Spawn book aside from just Spawn. But with what Todd's trying to do and try to lead this into franchise potential as well, I am rather excited. Plus, like I said, we don't know too many details except for the fact that Jim Cheung is the artist on the Spawn's Universe one-shot in June. But we do have 4 names attached to be working on some of these projects in some capacity that I'm very excited about, and that's Greg Capullo, Donny Cates, Alesh Kott, and Frank Quitely. What a great badass time to get into Spawn. Seriously. From DC Comics, we got Batman 89. This is going to be written by Sam Hamm with artwork by John Quinones. Sam Hamm was the screenwriter of the 1989 Batman film. This is going to be a 12-chapter digital-first series that follows directly the Batman movie from 1989. It will be starting in July digitally, and then it's going to be collected in 6 print edition comics starting in August, and then a collected hardcover. Also, Superman 78, basically the same thing, continuing directly from the end of Superman, the movie from 1978, continuing on that story. July for digital, August for print. It's going to be 12 digital chapters, just like Batman 89, 6 issues or 1 graphic novel. And it's written by Robert Venditti with artwork by Wilfredo Torres. I'm very excited about both of these announcements. DC's done things like this before. They did Batman 66, they did Wonder Woman 77. I never really read the Wonder Woman one, but the Batman 66 was pretty freaking cool and definitely captured that feel. So, and I will say this, if we don't get a Billy D. Williams Two-Face in Batman 89, I will be severely disappointed. DC made some quick announcements at Comic Pro. No covers, no artwork, no creative teams, just some quick things. So I'm going to go ahead and just run through them. These are new books coming from DC at some point this year, probably. Deathstroke Incorporated, a Harley Quinn animated sequel, so it's a sequel to the animated series. Wonder Woman 80th anniversary is probably going to be one of those crazy big specials. Elseworld, which is going to be a book about the Elseworld, which we find out at the end of Death Metal #7 that it's kind of like one half of the center of the new DC Omniverse. So I guess we'll find out more about that. We have a book called DC Vampires. We got Robin and Batman. Interesting flip there. Joker Puzzle Box, The Legend of Batman, Crush and Lobo, Nubia and the Amazons, and DC Middle Ages. Now, it's not confirmed if these are graphic novels, if they're graphic novels for kids, middle age, if they're actual comic books, if they're DC Black Label, who knows? They haven't made any of those announcements, but that is a very intriguing list of potential upcoming books from DC, regardless of where they fall in the Omniverse. From Marvel in May, we have Shang-Chi. So we did have the recent Shang-Chi miniseries that was written by Jean Lun Yang with artwork by Daike Ruan. It's the exact same creative team. So why even... It's like, why even launch a new #1? But whatever, you know, there's a movie coming out. So it's an ongoing series for now. That's what they're promising. But Yang and Ruan on this book, I thought they did a pretty decent job with the miniseries. I did fall out of it, so I got to sit back and reread all of it. But Shang-Chi's got a movie coming out, and he well deserves his own series. So I'm excited for this. Reptile is coming out in May. This is a character from Avengers Academy. This is really surprising to me that all of a sudden they're giving him a series. He's not a very popular character, but it's caused some speculation on his first appearance. It's written by Terry Blas with artwork by Anid Balsam. Balsam? No, it's not Balsam. I can't read my own handwriting. Anyway, Fantastic Four teased Doctor Doom's marriage. Is Doctor Doom finally getting married? Is that a good idea? I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I think Dan Slott has actually come into his own as the writer on the Fantastic Four. I have found these last 4 to 5 issues to be way more thrilling and engaging and epic in scope. R.B. Silva joining him on the artwork is a big deal to do with that. But just looking at this teaser, first of all, the idea that they've got this like teaser with all these clues and hints and stuff for the Fantastic Four, so excites me. It's like in my lifetime, for the most part, the Fantastic Four, like most people don't seem to care about it. Marvel doesn't really promote it. Then of course they just stopped doing the book forever. But I'm intrigued by this. There's some really interesting elements that are starting to come forth in his Fantastic Four run. And Doctor Doom getting married? I don't know. Better than eating potato chips, I guess. So we'll see about that. Immortal Hulk has a new one-shot coming out in May called Time of Monsters. It's got a main story written by Al Ewing, of course, who writes Immortal Hulk, as well as Alex Paknadel. Alex Paknadel, of course, is the writer of Friendo. He's the writer of Giga. He's the writer of Arcadia. He's the writer of Turncoat. He is one of my favorite writers in comics. He's also a friend of the show. We did a chat with Alex. He's coming back to do another chat this year. Alex is a super cool dude, and I'm really, really excited to see what he's going to do with the Immortal Hulk. By the way, Juan Ferreira is going to be doing the artwork in that. That is amazing. There's also a backup story in there that's going to be done by David Vaughn, brother of Brian K. Vaughan. So, pretty interesting. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters is a one-shot comic book. It's by Charles Soule. It's by Steve McNiven, who was the artist of Civil War, and it's going to be part of a crossover that's going to cross over all the Marvel Star Wars titles, basically, but it's a Boba Fett-centric story. And the idea is, since that right now all the Marvel Star Wars books are basically in that gap between Empire and Jedi, this is telling the story about what happens when Boba Fett's taking Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. Apparently there's this whole War of the Bounty Hunters that happens in the middle of it. Maybe it's kind of like Space Bastards. I don't know. I don't read the Star Wars books, but I know a lot of you do, so maybe that's cool. Invincible Red Sonja is a brand new Red Sonja book. Why do we care? Because it's by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, with artwork by Maury Tot. That's pretty freaking cool. I know there's a lot of Connor and Palmiotti fans, especially because of their work on books like Harley Quinn, so maybe this is something to kind of make people a little bit more interested in what's going on in Red Sonja aside from just the covers. Department of Truth has been optioned for either a TV show or a movie. Not definitive yet if it's going to be made, if it's going to be a series, if it's going to be a movie, but It has been optioned. Department of Truth is an amazing book in which the idea is that mass belief of people causes change in reality. So the more people that believe in a crazy, zany conspiracy theory, for instance, it actually starts becoming true. And this is about the department of the U.S. government that's out to try to make truth reign free, or maybe not. Very Teen Dog Shades appropriate book, and I'm very excited to hear the news that it's going to be optioned, that it is optioned, either for a TV series or a movie, because I think that's fantastic. Sasha Calle is Supergirl in the Flash movie. This Flash movie that has died so many times. They've tried to get this Flash movie off the ground so many freaking different times. Now they got the director of the It movies, so we'll see what happens. But they did cast Sasha Calle as Supergirl. I know she's Latin, and so I think a lot of people are celebrating that. I'm not familiar with her work. I looked her up, and she's apparently in Young and the Restless, and I haven't watched Young and the Restless since the days when my grandmother used to watch it, and I would watch it with her. But I was always more of a fan of General Hospital, let's be honest. Sonny was my dude. I honestly thought he was a vampire, too, when I was pretty young. Anyway, Danny Elfman is the composer of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Danny Elfman obviously has worked with Sam Raimi before, including the Spider-Man books. Danny Elfman is one of my favorite composers in film, and he's definitely one of my favorite composers when it comes to superhero film. He gave us the Batman score for '89, so when I do read Batman '89, you know it's going to be the Danny Elfman music I'm hearing in my head. So I'm very, very excited for that. Constantine is going to be a HBO Max live-action series. They're rebooting Constantine as a live-action series for HBO Max. It's produced by J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot. It's part of his relaunch his launch of Justice League Dark as a series, so it's going to kind of go along with that. So they're already doing all that, and they have confirmed they're casting somebody completely different, not bringing back Matt Ryan. Wednesday is going to be a show on Netflix about Wednesday from the Addams Family, and it's going to be directed and produced by Tim Burton. All right, that's right in his wheelhouse. I'm very excited for that. She's definitely the best character, aside from Raul Julia's Gomez, in the Addams Family, so I'm excited to see that get fleshed out. Tim Burton, it was made for him, let's be honest, y'all. Watch some trailers. Let's react to them real quick. Justice League, the Snyder Cut, which is available March 18th. We saw the trailer, the latest trailer. It just blew me away. I love it. The choice of music in the trailer, the epicness. You know me, I'm a big fan of the Zack Snyder DC work, and I am really, really pumped to finally see at least something close to what he wanted to bring out in his Justice League movie. I think the trailer looks amazing, and I know a lot of people aren't down for the Snyder Cut, and that's cool. If you're not down, that's fine, but let the rest of us be excited. For once in my life, let me be excited about something. I'm just kidding. I'm one of the most excitable people you know. Mortal Kombat, which releases on HBO Max April 16th. Holy cow, this Mortal Kombat trailer was amazing. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, I didn't need anything else. If that trailer was just 20 seconds and just was all the Sub-Zero and Scorpion stuff, you would have still sold me. That moment when they're fighting and Scorpion spurts up some blood and Sub-Zero freezes it and now it's his weapon, you gotta be kidding me. This thing looks bloody, brutal, and just violent, and I am so ready for this. Cruella. Watch the Cruella trailer. This releases on Disney Plus May 28th. It's Emma Stone as Cruella de Vil. It's kind of like an origin thing. I was really worried that they were going to Maleficent it up, kind of make her relatable, kind of make her a good guy or whatever, and it's definitely going to be from her perspective, but the trailer looked really cool. And Emma Stone looks amazing as Cruella de Vil, absolutely amazing. Hot Topic dream girl of my life, seriously. I'm kind of pumped for this now. I was not excited for this. Watching that trailer, I loved her accent. I love the aspect of madness that they're trying to portray, at least in the trailer, so we shall see. When it comes to the live-action adaptations Disney's been doing, I think it's been way more missed than hit, because really the only one I've liked has been Aladdin, but Cruella has my attention. I watched the Invincible trailer. Invincible is an animated series from Amazon Prime. It debuts on March 26th. The trailer is available right now. It looks like a pretty faithful adaptation of the Robert Kirkman book. I've only read the first 12 issues of Invincible, so I definitely got to find the time to get caught back up on that finally, and I guess finish it. Not get caught up on. If you get caught up on Invincible by reading all of it. But the trailer looks awesome. The animation looks pretty cool, and like I said, it looks pretty faithful, and it's got an amazing cast of voice actors attached to it. The Stylist is a new horror film. It's going to be available on Shudder. No, The Stylist is going to be available on Arrow. Arrow, who does amazing DVDs and Blu-rays for horror movies in particular, apparently has a streaming service. So this is going to release on other services or like VOD and Blu-ray like in June, but it's going to start streaming on Arrow's streaming service March 1st. The Stylist is about... So first of all, this movie looks freaking awesome. You got to watch this trailer. The Stylist is about a hairstylist, and she becomes obsessed with her patrons, and then she scalps them and wears their hair. Come on, yo. This looked awesome. It looked creepy. It looked poignant and resonating. I was very cool with that. Lucky is one that's on Shudder. This one comes out March 4th. I watched this one. It's about a woman who's moved in with this dude. I don't know if they're married or something, probably. And somebody just shows up one night at their house, and she's like, there's somebody outside. And he goes, oh, don't worry. That's the guy that shows up every night, and he tries to kill us. What? So it's literally like every single night this dude shows up at their house and tries to kill them. So it's like Groundhog Day almost a little bit, but they're not repeating the day. It's just he keeps coming back. Even if they like attack him and kill him, he comes back the next day. Oh my goodness. Both of those looks like some really amazing modern horror movies that I would highly encourage you to check those trailers out. The Stylist and Lucky. Wow. From Arrow and Shudder, respectively. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP? Well, guess what? Tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time, the return of Rockin Robbie Live and the very first Teen Dog Shades episode in 2021. Very excited. If you got a little bit of extra time today, I would highly encourage you to check out Amazon Prime's documentary, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Contact has begun. Consider that your homework. Lots of fun stuff. Hopefully we'll get comics this week. That would be a treat and super, super fun. We got a great conversation lined up for Thursday night with Joe Cruella, who's got a new book from Mad Cave coming out. Very excited to have Joe back on the channel and chat with him. And then Friday night, PCP Movie Night. We're talking about Meteor Man. Ho, ho, ho. You know I'm excited about that. Then, of course, Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday evening over at Dylan's Comics. Anyway, that's what we got for you this week. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please do like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living, reading, loving, profiling, styling, being dope.